All right, let's get into it. Today we're tackling a topic that really splits the olive world in two. How you take a bitter, freshly picked olive and turn it into something amazing. It's a journey from the tree to your table, but there are two very, very different ways to get there.
So have you ever actually done it? Tried an olive right off the branch? Come on, if you've seen one, you've been tempted. You see this perfect, plump little fruit and you think, how bad can it be? Well, if you've tried it, you know. It's not just bad, it's shockingly, intensely bitter, like completely inedible. So what in the world is going on there?
That awful, mouth-puckering taste, it isn't just a flavor, it's pure chemistry. There's a specific compound inside that olive that acts as its natural defense system. And if we want to eat it, our entire job is to get that compound out.
And here he is. Meet our culinary villain, Oleuropein. This is the stuff. This one compound is the sole reason raw olives are so terrible. The entire process of making olives edible, the whole thing, revolves around getting rid of or neutralizing this one chemical. And that process is called curing. This is where our great debate really begins.
So how do we defeat our villain? Well, first up is the method favored by big commercial producers. You know, the one that gives us most of those classic canned black olives at the supermarket. This is the fast track. This is the chemical route, the Lye Method.
So how does this work? Honestly, it's basically brute force chemistry. You soak the olives in a solution of food-grade lye, which is a really powerful alkali, and the lye doesn't just gently draw the bitterness out. Oh no, it straight up attacks the oleuropein molecules, breaks their bonds, and just neutralizes them on the spot.
Now, the process itself it's serious. We have to start with safety. First and foremost. Lye is caustic. It can cause serious chemical burns. So you absolutely must wear gloves, eye protection, and a huge one, never ever use aluminum bowls or utensils because lye will literally dissolve them. So after a 12-hour soak, you do what's called a cut test. Slice an olive open to see if the lye has gotten all the way to the pit. Then comes the most important part. You have to rinse and rinse and rinse for up to a week to get every single trace of that lye out.
And here's the big appeal of the whole Lye Method: speed. You go from that disgusting, bitter fruit to a completely ready-to-eat olive in about 1 week. It's an unbelievably fast transformation.
Okay, so that was the fast and furious chemical approach. Now, let's switch gears completely. Let's talk about the other side of this debate. This is the ancient way, the traditional path that gives us those amazing Greek Kalamata or Spanish manzanilla olives. And this method? It relies on two simple things: salt and a whole lot of time.
The science here is completely different. Instead of a chemical attack, it's more of an elegant two-part natural process. First, the salt water uses osmosis to slowly pull that bitter Oleuropein out of the olive. But at the same time, something magical happens. Naturally occurring lactic acid bacteria, the good stuff, like in yogurt or sauerkraut, they start to ferment the sugars in the olive, creating these incredible, complex new flavors. You're literally tasting time itself.
The process here feels much more like a craft. You start by either slitting or gently cracking the olives, which just helps the brine get in. Then you mix your salt solution. And here's a really cool old-school trick called the egg test. You just keep adding salt to water until a fresh, raw egg floats. That tells you you've hit about a 10% solution. Perfect. Then you just submerge the olives, let them ferment, and change out the brine every week for the first month to get rid of that first wave of bitterness.
And here is the dramatic contrast. Just look at that timeline. We're not talking about a week anymore. Not even close. We're talking a minimum of 3 months, and often up to a full year. Yes, a year. So the key takeaway here is one word: patience. Immense patience.
Okay, so we have our two contenders. In this corner, the fast and chemical lye cure, and in this corner, the slow and natural brine pure. It's time to put them head-to-head in the ultimate olive showdown.
First up, flavor. The lye-cured olives are often described as mild and buttery. Because the lye just stops all bacterial action, there's no fermentation, so you get this very clean, very straightforward olive flavor. The brine-cured olives, on the other hand, they are tangy, complex, sometimes a little sour. That fermentation process creates this deep, rich, almost alive flavor that just sings.
Next round, safety. And this is a big one. The Lye method is high risk. Let's be clear. You're handling a caustic chemical that can cause serious burns. The Brine method is low risk. What's the absolute worst that can happen? You get some moldy olives. You throw them out and start over. One outcome is an injury. The other is just disappointment. It's a huge difference.
But what about what's actually inside the olive? Well, the intense chemical process of the lye cure can actually strip away some of the olive's natural, beneficial antioxidants. The brine method, though, does the complete opposite. The fermentation process actually adds value, creating probiotic-rich olives that are great for your gut health.
So after that showdown, which path are you going to choose? Because this is really more than just a process, isn't it? It's kind of a philosophy. Are you looking for a quick, predictable scientific result, or are you looking to practice a slow, traditional art form?
So which path is right for you? Well, here's some pretty clear guidance. Choose lye if you have a massive harvest to get through fast, you like that mild, buttery flavor, and you are super diligent and comfortable with strict chemical safety. But choose brine if you're a beginner, you're chasing that complex, gourmet, tangy flavor, and you just prefer a more natural approach to your food.
And this really gets right to the heart of it all with this one powerful idea. The Lye Method is a science experiment. The Brine Method is an art form. One is a controlled experiment with a predictable outcome. The other is a creative process, an art form that takes patience and gives you something unique and full of character.
So what's the final verdict, especially for those of you just starting out? The recommendation is unambiguous. Start with the brine method. It's safer, it teaches you patience, and honestly, the long wait makes that first salty, tangy bite taste like pure, hard-won victory.
And that leaves us with one final thought. After you've picked your harvest and chosen your path, after all the waiting is finally done, what flavor are you really hoping for? Will it be the taste of a successful science experiment or the taste of a hard-won artistic victory? The choice is yours.